Threat intelligence is a set of activities and resources available to cybersecurity professionals seeking to learn about um, challenges in the threat environment. Building a threat intelligence program is a crucial part of any organization's approach to cybersecurity. If you are not familiar with current threats, you won't be able to build appropriate defenses to protect your organization against those threats. Threat intelligence information can also be used for predictable analysis to identify likely risks to the organization. They, there are many sources of threat intelligence, ranging from open source intelligence that you can gather from publicly available sources to commercial services that provide a priority or closed source intelligence information. An increasing number of products and services have the ability to consume threat feed data, allowing you to leverage it throughout your infrastructure and systems. Regardless of their source, threat feeds are intended to provide up-to-date detail about threats in a way that your organization can leverage. Threat feeds often include technical details about the threats such as IP addresses, host names and domains, email addresses, URLs, file hashes, file paths, common vulnerabilities and exposure, record numbers, and, and other details about the threat. Additional information is often included to help make the information relevant and understandable, including details of what make your organization a target or vulnerable to a threat, describing all threat actors, and even details of their motivations and methodologies. Vulnerability databases are also an essential part of an organization's threat intelligence program. Reports of vulnerabilities certainly help direct an organization's defensive efforts, but they also provide valuable insight into the types of exploits being discovered by researchers. Threat intelligence sources may also provide indicators of compromise. These are the tailgate signs that attack has taken place and may include file signatures, log patterns, and other evidence left behind by attackers. IOCs may also be found in files, and IOCs may also be found in file and code repositories that offer threat intelligence information. Open source intelligence is threat intelligence that is acquired from publicly available sources. Many organizations have recognized how useful open sharing of threat information can be, and open source threat intelligence has become broadly available. In fact, now the challenge is often around decided what threat intelligence sources to use, ensuring that they are available and up to date and leveraging them well. A number of sites maintain extensive lists of open source threat information source. In addition to open source and community threat data sources, there are many government and public sources of threat intelligence data. For example, the figure shows an alert listing from Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency website. Exploring the dark web. Dark web is a network run over standard internet connections, but using multiple layers of encryption to provide anonymous communication. Hackers often use sites on the dark web to share information and sell credentials and other data stolen during their attacks. Threat intelligence teams should familiarize themselves with the dark web and include searches of dark web marketplaces for credentials belonging to their organizations or its clients. The sudden appearance of credentials on dark web marketplace likely indicates that a successful attack took place are required and requires further information. Proprietary and closed-source intelligence. Commercial security vendors, government organizations, and other security-centric organizations also create and make use of proprietary or closed-source intelligence. They do their own information gathering and research, and they may use custom tools, analysis models, or other proprietary methods to gather, curate, and maintain their threat feeds. There are a number of reasons that proprietary threat intelligence may be used. The organization may want to keep their threat data secret. They may want to sell or license it, and their methods and sources are their trade secrets. Or they may not want to take the chance of the threat actors knowing about the data they are gathering. Commercial closed-source intelligence is often part of a service offering, which can be compelling resource for security professionals. The sheer amount of data available via open source threat intelligence feeds can be overwhelming for many organizations. Combing, combing through threat feeds to identify relevant threats and then ensuring that they are both well defined and applied appropriately for your organization can require massive amounts of effort. Validating threat data can be difficult in many cases, and once you are done making sure you have quality threat data, you still have to do something with it. Threat maps provide a geographic view of threat intelligence. Many security vendors offer high-level maps that provide real-time insight into the cybersecurity threat landscape. For example, Checkpoint offers a public site threat map shown in the figure. Organizations may also use threat mapping information to gain insight into the sources of attacks aimed directly at their networks. However, threat map information are viewed skeptically because geographic attribution is notoriously unreliable. Attackers often relay their attacks through cloud services and other compromised networks, hiding their true geographic location from threat analysis tools. Regardless of the source of your threat intelligence information, you need to access it. A number of common factors come into play when you access a threat intelligence source or a specific threat intelligence notification. Is it timely? A feed that is operating on delay can cause you to miss a threat or to react after the threat is no longer relevant. Is the information accurate? Can you rely on what it says, and how likely it is that the assessment is valid? Does it rely on a single source or multiple sources? How often are those sources correct? Is the information relevant? If it describes the wrong platform, software, or reason for the organization to be targeted, the data may be very timely, very accurate, and completely irrelevant to your organization. One way to summarize the threat intelligence assessment data is via a confidence score. Confidence score allow organizations to filter and use threat intelligence based on how much trust they can give it. That doesn't mean that lower confidence information isn't useful. In fact, a lot of threat intelligence starts with a lower confidence score, and the score increases as the information solidifies and as additional sources of information confirm it or are able to do a full analysis. Low confidence threat information shouldn't be completely ignored, but it also shouldn't be relied on to more important decisions without taking the low confidence score into account. Many threat many threat feeds will include a confidence rating among with a descriptive scale. For example, one approach uses 6 levels of confidence. Confirmed uses independent sources or direct analysis to provide that the threat is real. Probable relies on logical interf- relies on logical inference but does not directly confirm the threat. Possible is used when some information agrees with the analysis but the assessment is not confirmed. Doubtful is assigned when the assessment is possible but not the most likely option, or the assessment cannot be proven or disproven by the information that is available. Improbable means that the assessment is possible but not the most logical option, or it is refuted by other information that is available. Discredited is used when the assessment has been confirmed to be inaccurate or incorrect. Managing threat information at any scale requires standardization and tooling to allow the threat information to be processed and used in automated ways. Indicator management can be much easier with a defined set of terms. That's where that, that's where structured markup languages like STX, structured threat information expression, is an XML language originally sponsored by US government, US Department of Homeland Security. Its version includes things like attack patterns, identities, malware threat actors, and tools. These actors are then related to each other by one of two STX relationship objectives. either as a relationship or as a sighting. Fields like sophistication and resource level use defined vocabulary options to allow STX users to consistently use the data as part of automated and manual system. Since its creation, STX has been handed off to the Organization for the Advancement of Structured Information Standards, OASIS, an international non-profit consortium that maintains many other projects related to information formatting. A comparison to STIX is a trusted automated exchange of intelligent information protocol. In addition to threat intelligence vendors and resources, threat intelligence communities have been created to share threat information. In the United States, organizations known as Information Sharing and Analysis Centers help infrastructure owners and operators share threat information and provide tools and assistance to their members. The ISAC concept was introduced in 1998 as part of presidential decision, which asked critical infrastructure sectors to establish organizations to share information about threats and vulnerabilities. ISACs operate a trust model, allowing in-depth sharing of threat information for both physical and cyber threats. Most ISACs operate 24/7, providing ISAC members in their sector with instant response and threat analysis. In addition to ISACs, there are specific U.S. agencies or department partners for each critical infrastructure area. A list breaking them down by sector can be found at outside the United States. Government embodies and agencies with similar responsibilities exist in many countries. The UK National Protective Security Authority is tasked with providing threat information, resources, and guidance to industry and academia, as well as to other parts of the UK government and law enforcement. As a security professional, you should continue to conduct your own research into emerging cybersecurity threats. Here are sources you might consult as you build your threat research toolkit. Vendor security information websites, vulnerability and threat feeds from vendors, government agencies, and private organizations. Academic journals and technical publications such as internet requests for comments, documents, social media accounts of prominent security professionals. As you reference these sources, keep a particular eye out for information on adversary tactics, techniques, and procedures. Learning more about the ways that attackers function allows you to improve your own threat intelligence program. Cybersecurity professionals must have a strong working understanding of the threat landscape in order to assess the risks facing their organizations and the controls required to mitigate those risks. Cybersecurity threats may be classified based on their internal or external status, their level of sophistication and capability, their resources and funding, and their intent and motivation. Threat actors take many forms, ranging from relatively relatively unsophisticated, unskilled attackers who are simply seeking the thrill of success, have to advanced nationwide actors who use cyber attacks as a military weapon to achieve political advantage. Activists, organized crime, competitors, and other threat actors may all target the same organizations for different reasons. Cyber attacks come through a variety of threat vectors. The most common vectors include email and social media. Other attacks may come through direct physical access, supply chain exploits, network-based attacks, and other vectors. Organizations should build robust threat intelligence programs to help them stay abreast of emerging threats and adapt their controls to function in a changing environment. Threat actors differ in several key attributes. We can classify threat actors using four major criteria. First, threat actors may be internal to the organization, or they may come from external sources. Second, threat actors differ in their level of sophistication and capability. Third, they differ in their available resources and funding. Finally, different threat actors have different motivations and levels of intent. Threat actors come from many different sources. Threat actors may be very simplistic in their techniques, such as unskilled attackers using exploit code written by others, or quite sophisticated, such as the advanced persistent threat posed by nationwide actors and organized crime. Activists may seek to carry out political agendas, whereas competitors may seek financial gain. Employees and other users may pose an insider threat by working from within to attack your organization. The use of unapproved shadow IT systems may also expose your data to risk. Attackers have varying motivations for their attacks. Attackers may be motivated by many different drivers. Common motivations for attack include data exfiltration, espionage, service disruption, blackmail, financial gain, philosophical or political beliefs, revenge, disruption and chaos, or war. Some attackers may believe they are behaving ethically and acting in the best interests of society. Attackers exploit different uh, vectors to gain initial access to an organization. Attackers may attempt to gain initial access to an organization remotely over the internet through a wireless connection or by attempting direct physical access. They may also approach employees over email or social media. Attackers may seek to use removal media to trick employees into unintentionally compromising their networks, or they may seek to spread exploits through cloud services. Sophisticated attackers may attempt to interfere with an organization's supply chain. Threat intelligence provides organizations with valuable insights into the threat landscape. Security teams may leverage threat intelligence from public and private sources to learn about current threats and vulnerabilities. They may seek out detailed indicators of compromise and perform predictive analytics on their own data. Threat intelligence teams often supplement open source and cross-source intelligence that they obtain externally with their own research. Security teams must monitor for supply chain risks. Modern enterprises depend on hardware, software, and cloud service vendors to deliver IT services to their internal and external customers. Vendor management techniques protect the supply chain against attackers seeking to compromise these external links into an organization's network. Security professionals should pay particular attention to risks posed by outsourced code development, cloud data storage, and integration between external and internal systems.